two things we'll do. I will try to finish them, but let's go back quick revision of what we did last time. So last time we spent more time with the lists, and we looked at multiple things from creating the list, manipulating the list by adding, inserting, sorting, reversing, copying, removing, things like that. And then we looked at how to visualize a list or multiple lists by using different type of visualization. And then these are the things we did. So we spoke about creating the list. You can start the list empty like this, and then you can add item to a list. This is when you do it just by defining the items, and then we can print any list item that you want. One thing I did not mention that last time, if I use minus, it will go to the end of the list and take data from the end. What I mean by that, I don't know who's calling it. When I try to print -1 of my list, index minus, it will start from here. So this is -1, this is minus, this is -3, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So if you want to get data from the back, you need to use the minus, and then we can change any element in the index by deciding which location we want to change, and then put the value. And then we have looked at appending, adding item to the list by using the data itself. But if we want to insert, we need the location and the data we want to insert. So that's one way. We can extend the list by adding another list to it. And then we also looked at removing and popping and different between the two. The removing by the value itself, popping is by the index, but popping will return for you a data that you can store somewhere. And then we looked at deleting, using delete as well, which is similar to removing, but it doesn't keep anything. And then we looked at printing slice of data. Slice, we divide the data to parts, and we took from index 1 to index 3 or 4. But 4 is not included. And we looked at this one. If we don't specify the beginning, so that means from 0. And if you don't specify the end, then means to the end, from that location to the end. And then we looked at printing them like using for loop, or some other common things. I think this all we did, but maybe we didn't look at count. But there is something called len, and then something called sort as well. So you can sort the data, and there is reverse and copy. And then we looked at visualization. You can draw so many type of visuals, and you need to just read about them, go to ChatGPT or Copilot or anything, and say these two questions. What is a line plot? When I can be used to do? What are the strength and limitation of line plot? You ask this question, you will find those answers, because each type of chart is good for visualizing certain things. And then that becomes something you will do in another course. In fact, what we're doing in this one, we're doing so many courses. These details of the type of chart, you will do it in a course in statistics to do, and you will learn it very well, and you will know what is to do. By here in Python, we're showing you how can be visualized, can be done in a more programming way. But you can study all these type of chart and the use of them. You will study it somewhere in another course, and they are very simple. You can tell from the title and from the shape of that one. And we did some practice on that one. I lifted some exercises for you yesterday, but maybe I didn't tell you about it. These are some simple exercises if you want to do them, like you create one, you're giving a list, and then you want to print the second and the fourth element from the list. And These are very simple things. I can think by now you will be good at doing them. Now, I have to admit you didn't get enough time to practice. This course, again, the Python itself can be, most universities do it at least in 2 courses to do. And you will have 15, 16 weeks to study the course. You will have enough time to practice. We're doing it in a very condensed mode, but we're giving you an idea about things that you will see later. And when you see them, you will not feel this like Chinese. You, at least you have some knowledge of them and you can do. But if you practice those questions, you'll find they will give you very important skills that will help you. So today we'll talk about the dictionary. We spoke a little bit about dictionary a few days ago when we spoke about the Python. But important to do the dictionary because it's introduction to the next lesson, which we will do. The last one we will do on Thursday on Python, which something called Pandas data science or data analytics, which rely on dictionary. So knowing dictionary is important for you to know. So a dictionary in Python is a collection of keys and values. You can say student name, and then you have his name or her name. Student age, and then you have his name or age. Then you have courses, student, the courses the student is doing, be a list of courses. So it is a collection of key, the key that you search, like name, age, address, and the actual value of that key. And they put together in something dictionary. It is an order, meaning they are not ordered ascending or descending. Mutable means you can change them, can change the values, but you cannot change the keys themselves, change the values of this key. And index, you can index them. And they are very good for efficient retrieval of data, insertion of data, deletion of key values. Okay. So here are some additional information. The keys are each item in dictionary must have a key, and there is a key and a value, as we said, and the key should be unique. So I can't have name and again another name, we call name. It has to call it something else. Because first name, last name, both names they cannot be done. You cannot check the keys themselves once you create them.
Doctor, we are having some issue with your mic.
Can you hear me?
It's lagging, doctor.
You can't hear me?
We can hear, doctor, but it's lagging. The voice is breaking.
I see. Let me see now. I think it's because let me maybe remove this one. And this. Okay. Okay. Now can you hear me better?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah. Okay. Mac is the best mic. Those headset, and there's nobody here. That's good. Okay, so back to that. So the keys are unique, as you said. If you have a name, you cannot have another key called a name. The value, you can have 2 persons with the same name, like Ahmad repeated twice, that you can. But the key itself, you cannot be. It is immutable. The key means you cannot change the key after you created it. So if you called it name, I want to change it to first name, I need to change the whole data that does that to do. The data is not ordered in any type of thing. And then the data are mutable, so the data we can change it. You can change all the data in there. And we can index the data also. And we'll see that in example. Let's look at an example of a dictionary now. Here is a dictionary. You just basically get it a name, equal, and here you use a brace one. The brace one, not the square bracket. Square bracket for list. Brace has to be for the dictionary. And then you can specify all the different keys. The name is a key, the age is a key, curses is a key. Now each key has a value. So the name has John here, and age has 21. And we specify the value by using this column. The column means the one to the right is the value to it. And then come to the courses. Look at the courses. The courses, we have a list of courses. So the value can be not only a single value, but it can be a list of data. So John, for example, here, he is doing two courses, math and computer science, and can add a comma and add another course. This makes it very easy to add additional information to the dictionary. So student here is have these three things. We can add a comma here and add a fourth one, and comma, a fourth one. But notice one thing, the last data has no comma. This is something you need to remember. There's no comma here at the end. But each one is separated by the comma. Now, can this be in one row? Yes, it can be in one row like this. You can say name equal John, comma, age equal 21, comma, courses equal, then square bracket, and do that, and comma, and you continue. You can do it this way. This way is more visually clear. Because if you have another student and you want to add, you say this is student 0 and student 1 or with other ID, then becomes clear for you to see. So that's how it is. Now, if I want to get the value of the name of that student, before I use square bracket, a number here, 0, 1, 2, which is the index. Here for the dictionary, we need to use the key name. So the key name has to be here, okay, not the index, because we looked at it here. This is the keys we have, name, age, and courses. I want to display the name. I just say student quotation, because the key is always a text name. And this way, it will display the name stored in that dictionary. And then comes age, the same thing. I can do that. So this is how I can get the data by specifying the name of that column. Also, as you can see, I can change the value of any key. So that student was 21, now he grew up and became 22. And then age will be student quotation age equal 22, and that's the way you can do that. And then the same thing, student grade. If we have to add additional key, I don't have this key called grade in the dictionary. I can add it. So if you come with the new ID, new key, the new key will be added to the dictionary. So this example here, this is the dictionary we have, has only name, age, and courses. Now, when we came here, we came with a new one called grade. So this grade will be added and the dictionary will change to include the grade. We'll practice this one in a second after we just get quick introduction of this. Let me see who is here. Yeah, we have 100 now. Okay, then you can delete by using del. So del will delete that key. and remove it from the data. You can use pop, or pop, and you here in the pop, in this case, you have to decide which key you want to pop here, and then the value can be stored in the name. You can use a pop item as well, and that's another method that you can pop from here. These are different ways you can remove key pairs using delete or pop or pop item to do. Then there are other things here, like looping in a dictionary. If you want to loop in a dictionary using the loop, you can loop through dictionary using the keys, of course, and values. And here is example. If I want to go through the dictionary using the keys in that dictionary, finding what are the keys of that dictionary, not the values of these keys, just the name of the keys. So I can use for loop key n, this is the dictionary. So key n student, and then will print for me the key. If I want to get the value and not the keys, I want the value only, I can use value for value n. But here, notice the difference. I don't use only student. I use student dot values, open bracket, square bracket. This way, it will go through the values in that dictionary and display the values with the keys. And this example will give me both, if I want to display both the name of the key and the value stored in the key. So I can see for, notice the for can take multiple parameters, not only one. For key and value in student items. I need to use items in this case. So if I want to get the key and values, I need to use items. If I want to get the values only, I need to use values. If I want only the keys, I just use the name of the dictionary. So this will give me the values. This will give me the items. Once it goes through the loop, it will find for each one the key and value and display it on the screen. We'll practice that. These are some other methods, like you can clear that dictionary from all items. You can copy dictionary to another dictionary. Copying can be done multiple ways. This will return the keys. If you ask for only the keys without even using a for loop, if you say student.keys, it will give you the keys, return the keys. If you want only the values, student.values, give only the values. You will ask now, why you show us using for loop to do this one? Because sometimes you need to go through them one by one, because you take the first one, compare it with another data set, and then do some processing and bring it back. So knowing how to do it using for loop is important as well. But this will give you just directly the data. Items will return the dictionary and values, keys and values. And update, you can update the dictionary keys and pair values from another dictionary. If you have another dictionary, you can update it using another dictionary to do. So these are some of it. Here are some exercises we'll do. Let's practice it before we go into further things. So where is our friend? Should we today use Bubble, or we continue with? I'll go to Bubble today because we're not doing that much. It's loading. Yeah. The good thing with Bubble, I'm able to copy and paste the link for you. Bubble, Rebel, Rebel.com. and I have rebel.com. Let's do rebel today. The change is always good. So we go for Python. Rebel does the same, but later next lesson we'll do Anaconda, because Anaconda will help us in that one, because we'll deal with big data. So let's create a dictionary called student, okay? And here is the dictionary. So when you do this, hit enter, now you have a dictionary. So let's come with name, and we have this guy here came. Then we'll have grades, very good. And then we will have university. Okay, no, not Toronto, Abu Dhabi University. Abu Dhabi University. Someone should notice there is something wrong in this code. I need to do one thing to make it work. I need a comma here. Okay, so this is now the list. Okay, so if we say now, for example, print student, and we put the name like this. So what we will get now, you'll see bubble is good, but rebel, sorry, is good in doing that. But so we did that one. So if I want to print a grade, it will show me John and those the grades. Now, if I want the grade number 88, I want to just get the 88 from the grade. Now, the grade is a list. How I can get this 88 only? Can someone tell me in the chat how I can do it? I want to get only 88 or 67 or something like that. It's a list. So who is helping me? Using the index number. Very good. Correct. You are using the index number by index number. But how in terms of syntax, how I write it, I just do here additional 0. So this way I'm saying you are getting the student grade as a list. From that list, take indexed 0. And that's it. Now I'm getting 88 only. Now, if I want to slice it, say from 0 to 3, okay, this will give me 0, 3. So all the list things we have can be applied to student grade, because student grade is a list and can do. Just this is a revision for you. Very good. Now, if I want to change the name of this person to something else, so I can say student name, because I want to change the name, and I give him a new name, Salim Ali. Okay, Salim Ali. Don't worry. Bubble just keep giving you additional. Rebel give you additional quotation. You just need to be careful of that one. Now it changed the name of this person to that. So that's something we know. Now, if I want to only the keys, so I want to get the keys of this list. What are the keys of this list? Let's clear this one, run it. Now, by saying keys only, and let me remove this. I don't want to remove. This is the problem with our friend Ripple. I want to display only the keys. But anyway, here is the answer for it. For this line here, the answer is here. Dictionary keys are name, grade, university. If I want to get the values, say values, or I want to get the items and see the 3 of them now. Let's say run. So we can see now, clear, run. Let's start from here. This one is coming from here, the keys. So giving me only the keys, sorry, this one. is coming from the keys and saying the name, the grade, university. The second one here giving me the values, and this just give the values. As you can see, give the name is Salim, and these are the numbers, and that's the university. The third one giving me the items, and the items will give me everything. So the items is giving me for each one the name, and then the value, grade, and the values, thing like that. So if I do a for loop instead of this three, let's put hash here, so they are not part of what we do. So if we run this again, clear, run again, they are not executed. These lines are just comments. If I want to use for loop, or say keys and student keys, if I do this one and run this one, you will see it's displaying the keys. Now, this is the answer for that. Yeah, these are the keys, name, grade, these are the three things. Now, because I have other things is confusing me or confusing you, so let me comment this one, and later you can, and it's clear. Now, these are the keys, because you ask for the keys. Now, if I didn't use keys, I just used like that and did run it, it again gives me the keys. So the keys is optional to add here. It doesn't have to be keys. I can call it K here. I can call it K here. I will get the same thing. I call it M, which has nothing to do with the key. So don't be confused about this part. This part is up to you. You decided. Okay, it's easier to call it key because I'm dealing with the key, but it doesn't have to be key. That's the message I want to pass to you. Now, if I want to get the values, let's say 4 values. Again, these values can be anything. And this will do for me. So this one now will give me the values, and I can call it anything here. Values V, M, Y, X, Z. I have to use the same thing here. If I call it. What gives me the value is this one actually. This one is get the values and hand them one by one to whatever I'm calling here. Okay? So now if we run, I'll get the values coming there. I can comment this one, comment this one, and then we'll have a clearer on-screen data. These are the values that we are displaying. If you want to get both for keys and values, and here I have to say print key and values. So now I'm saying key and values. The first one, I call it key, I call it anything. The other one, I can call it anything, but I have to keep it in this order. But the most important here, I'm using dot items. Dot items will give me the whole array, and from that whole dictionary, we will break it into two, one key, one value, and then we'll display it and goes through all the items in the dictionary. So let's comment this one, comment this one. Now I think you know why I'm using what's wrong here. Yeah, I need colon. Yeah. Why I'm using Anaconda and Jupyter Notebook. It's easier to run only a part of the code without need to run the other part of the code to speed up your data processing. If you handle huge data, this takes ages to load things and become very complicated. So that will be better for us. But anyway, we're practicing here. So that's how to do it. Now, what? Okay, we did naming. We did. Of course, we can add some additional. Okay, that's one thing we need to do now. Let's come back here. Let's add a new. Let's delete this one. Oh, here. Give it like that. Let's add a new key. So I say student, and I can say age, and I can add 19. Now, if I run this one, nothing will happen because it did that. But here I say print student. Let's do that. And let's see now. I added the age, and the age is added to the dictionary here at the end. So that dictionary now has name, John something, grade, this grade, University Abu Dhabi, and comma, new thing added called age. So I can add anything there. Okay. And that's something you can do. You can add another field that is calculated. And let's try this one. Add student. I say next year age. Something stupid, but anyway. Next year age, and we'll say this actually student age plus 1. If I come with something like this one, I can create a calculated, add a new one calculated. And this is very good. Like in that dictionary, you have some numerical data, and you need to add a column that does some calculation, like the total, the average, the tax rate, whatever it is. Then what you can do, you come with the new name for that new key, and then you do some calculation here, regardless of that calculation. Maybe you add other items, you do that. It depends on that calculation to do. The calculation here is very simple. We're increasing the age by 1. And we adding it in a column called next year age. So if I run this one, I will get the dictionary now happening here with something called next year age, and it's 20 because it's increased this one by 1. So you can add additional keys that are calculated based on the data in the other keys you have. Okay. Something we did, I think this is something we said adding here. That's adding. This is the related, and we know delete and
So
yes. Any questions from your side? I can see there is one hand. Muhammad Abdullah. Muhammad, how are you? What's your question? I think maybe Muhammad was trying to tell me at that time the microphone is not working. But you are on mute, Muhammad. This is why I can't hear you if you are speaking. But Adnan, go ahead, Adnan, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear Adnan. Yeah.
I'm kind of struggling in understanding what's for, the function for and in.
Okay. Is this your first time or you came
La-
before?
I wasn't home last class. I wasn't
Oh,
here.
okay. Yeah. Okay. Sure. I will explain it. Just the for we are doing here is the loop. Let's look at this one. Let's take the simplest one. This one. Okay. So let's take this part. The for in Python, in Java, in all programming languages is a way to go through multiple data one by one. You assume people standing in a queue, and you go to each one and ask him for his name. You go to each one and ask him for his name. So you continue in the queue from the first one to the last one. This is the for too. So what we're saying here, we have something called list. Go through if the list and find the key for each item. And the key, as we said, are here: name, grade, and university. So this for loop is saying go through this list, and for each row, find what is that key. So first row, what is the key? Will become the name. The key will become the name. Second row, what is the key? The key is the grades. Third one, the key is. So this for loop is a way to go through a long list of items one by one and check for whatever I want to check. In this case, we're checking for the key. In this one, we're checking for the values. We don't want the key. So this one goes from beginning of the dictionary to the end of it, finding what are the values. So in this case, the example will be, the values will be John Smith. The grade will be this grade. The university will be this one. These are the values to go through. The other four, looking for both key and values. So for each row, will tell us what is the key, what is the value, what is the key, what is the value. So the for loop is a mechanism of going through items one by one and finding something about them to do. I hope that answers your questions.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you for raising it. Yeah, I think just watch the other videos. We covered these things multiple times in the previous videos. And I think you received an email with the list to the videos. Just watch the videos. You'll find all these things very clear, inshallah.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Yeah. Steve, then Arwa, then again Muhammad, then and Aisha. Yeah. Go, Steve.
Yeah, all right, I've had a question. So if we're dealing with a database that has like many students, can we use like the dictionary thing, or we have to do something completely different to get our print results?
Yeah, we can use the dictionary, but the best thing we'll do will be something called data frame, which like a table that has the rows and columns, and the data stored in these rows and columns. We will do it. If I don't get chance to do it today, we'll do it next time. So the data frame for the large data set. But the structure of it is the same as the dictionary. So what we learn now will help us later when we talk about the data frame, because the data frame, each row is structured like a dictionary, but it is multiple rows, not only one row of data. And that will make it clear. Yeah, but this is very good question. You're thinking ahead of that, and that's really good.
Sir,
Yeah.
can we make a small dictionary but with multiple values? Like for the name, we just make like
Yes.
3 names?
Yes, we can. We can simply, you can call student here, student, and you put an ID, for example, 0111, and this will be one dictionary. You can create another one here, and you call it student 0112, and the name can be anything here, or other number. And then this way you create multiple of it. So basically you will create a list of dictionaries and use them as a one set. Okay. So you can come with something else. It's called students, for example. Now, students is actually the two students, the two here. Sorry, should have used this one. But anyway, students can be student 0, what was that, 0011, and these are the two students. Now, this way you are creating a list of dictionary items and putting them this way. And this can be any number. So now students will really represent the whole data. So if I say print students, now I'm using, sorry, print, my keyboard became students, okay? This one, if I remove any other print, so I don't want to display so many things on the screen. So now this part here, I have student is a dictionary, and inside that one, I have some data, and student to another dictionary. And now I created a list that has the dictionaries are items within the list. And if I do this, we will get hopefully, if we don't make something
I think I have to make them
wrong.
circle brackets.
Yeah, I think something. Where is we missing? This.
Print
Yes.
students in the circle bracket.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's it. Let's clear this stupid one. Very good. No, not good. There's something wrong here. I think there's so many quotations, I think, happening here. Who can find the error? I'll give him 0 mark.
It's in the student 11.
11. Okay, what's an 11? 11 is fine. This is the other student.
Bracket, not
This one?
student 11. Number 1.
Number 1.
Yeah. Supposed to be a bracket.
Yeah, that should be normal brackets, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this two things. I think we are complicating it, but let's see. Yeah, the issue is there. Yeah, he's saying actually it's in 11, isn't it? Okay. So
Yeah, I was saying that.
Yeah, like that.
that's it. You're right. We were not looking at it carefully. Okay, that's it. Still, there is an issue with it.
I think just remove the brackets entirely and the quotes and everything. Just call them like the student and the number directly.
So I
Yeah.
think you need to create a separate dictionary or
You
list.
can call it student 1. This is the easiest way to do it. We can call it student 1, student 2, if we just do it like that. And then this will work perfect. And now if we come here and we call this student 1, and this is student 2, there, and have a bracket at the end, and remove this one. Now it works. It will work. Yeah. If we do this way, it will work, inshallah. Yeah, it's working. So basically, this is one dictionary called student 1. Otherwise, we need to create this one as a list itself. If we want to put square bracket, we can do that, but that's maybe not the best way.
So what we
So-
tried to do was we gave the same name, but we gave IDs to it, right?
Yes, yeah. And the IDs, you can put it inside. You can put an ID here if you want, call ID, and then we'll give this ID to be like that. Sorry, tab, and then remove this one, and I can have another ID here. Another ID, it should be the same thing. And now I have an ID here as well. The ID I can put there. So now they become, I can add additional dictionary and keep adding them to this one. But the pandas data type or data frame, which we will discuss later, will make it clear, Steve. And thank you all for finding the solution. I like that. This is great. Okay. Steve, do you still have a question? Or you gone? Okay. I have Muhammad Abdullah. Muhammad Abdullah, you are maybe just pressed and then you don't know how to unmute. If you,
I had a question, but I forgot it.
okay, no problem. Then lower your hand, please, so I don't will not until you have the question back. Aisha?
Yes, sir. I did not quite understand in the beginning when we talked about pop item and pop. I didn't understand the difference.
Yes, yeah. Let's try it. So pop actually remove things. Where is pop here? Did we give example here on pop?
Yes.
Yeah, here is it. Yeah. So pop basically remove the item. You remove that and or that key and add it to a variable. Add it to a variable that we can use later. It returns something to us. Boop item is very similar. Let's try both and see what will happen. But this one take the last item. Well, let's look at it now. Where is our here? So we have this one. So let's now deal with student one only. Okay. So let's say name equal student one, then pop name, okay, and print the name, and also print student one. Okay, so here we just need to do both today. Okay, so let's run this one, and we got a key missing here. Yeah, and run it. Now what happened? It did pop name for us here, remove pop name, removed it from student one, store it in something called name, and I printed name, which is this one. So it gave me John. Then it printed the list. Now the list, because I already pop or removed the name, it came without the name. The name is gone, removed
Yeah.
from the list. So it's removed it to do. Now, if I try now, let's have print and let's add something here, like a line to get things done this way. So we can have a line between these things. And then we'll say now item, call it, well, student one pop item, okay? And let's print item, and let's print also student one, okay? So this is what we are doing now. So we will get came there, but I want to see it clearly here. So that's this was the first one. We don't care about it. Now we look at this one. Now here, what we did, we asked it to pop item, okay, and then print that item. So the item was popped here, and this is what it printed. This is what it printed. So it took the last item in my list, which the university one, this one, the last item, and pop it into something called item, and displayed it on the screen.
So the last, even the key and the like item both together.
Exactly. Yeah, it gets the item. The word items here means the key and the value together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in pop, it's just whatever the value is there inside the key.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So this how it works. Yeah. Good. Excellent.
I had
Do you have a
another
question?
question.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please go ahead.
Could you go back to the code for a second?
Yeah.
To I think it's more about
Above. Okay.
or lower. I forgot where it was. Something in the code. Could you scroll down a bit, sir? Yeah, you were saying that we could change the key, right? Like in the for loop, like instead of saying for key, we can
Yes.
add something
Yeah,
else.
this one, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, let's add here. Print. Let me just do a new thing, like something come on the screen. The following is the result of the for loop to display keys as an interesting. Okay. And this message just add here so when it comes here, I understand what it is. Okay. So this one, yeah. What I said, the word key here, it doesn't actually means the key. Yeah. It doesn't have to be key. Can be anything. I call it P, for example. If I call it P and I call it here P and run this code, what we will get is something I think in the print statement, something I
Oh, there's no
different.
more student. It's students, I
Yeah,
think.
we changed the
Student
student's
one.
value.
Student one,
Use
yeah.
student two, because student one we destroyed. Let's use student two in this case. Okay. So this is, yeah. So student two P, it displayed for me the keys, regardless whatever. And instead of keys, I put P. It did display it for me.
So, but
Okay.
how does it know?
Yeah. Yeah. It knows from, yeah, this is very good question. It knows from here. If you go through a list and get a data from a list, by default, it gives you only the key. If you do not specify values or items, it gives you only the keys. This is how it's designed. If you want the
So if we
values,
want
you
to get
need
the
to add,
value,
say values here, you add values here, will give you the
then we get the
values.
value.
Now, P will be the values, no, not the keys. If you want the whole item key and values together as pair, you say items here. And
Items.
when you say items, it gives you both. So if you do not specify anything, it gives you the keys, regardless of the name you're calling it here. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Pleasure. Okay. You are the best student I have seen because you ask questions. I like students to ask questions. Adnan?
Yes. Is there a way that you can make it so it looks more organized rather than everything just piled up?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, that's when we get to the pandas. So you will see it much organized and beautiful tables and beautiful things. You can do that. But here we're just testing the concept. So if we go into pandas, we'll make it better, and hopefully we'll do it today. Yeah. There's a way you can organize it and looks beautiful.
Okay,
We'll
thank
do
you.
it. Yeah. Arwa?
Hi, yes. Uh, can you go back? I,
Arwa, I lost you for a few seconds. You said something, then you disappeared and came again. Uh, I'm in the code, yeah. Are you speaking?
yeah, wait, I'm trying to remember the question, but I completely forgot.
Okay. Maybe there is an issue there with your mic as well. But we can hopefully, can you put this one maybe in the chat? Capital N is different from, yes, you are right. It is case sensitive. So be careful with your variables. I see someone using our friend, they call it, yeah, where we are. Here is it. Should we move to this or continue with the, well, okay, let's see what else we need to practice, and then I'll come to, so we have done the poll, we have done values, we looked at this one. These are some exercises you can play with it, like you create a dictionary, a student with keys, name, age, and courses. The course, you do that. Given a dictionary student, this is a dictionary now, add a new key to it, and call grade. And that can be done with values A, and then remove the A key, print. This you can all do. Giving a dictionary, there's some exercises to do. Let me take you to the pandas. So let's do something now more serious to do. And for that to work, I just need to go to the folder we created last time called Python practice. Python practice. So many things on this computer. This is the one that to do. But let's create a new folder called, we'll call it we'll go into dictionary. Where did you put that? Did we put that one last time? Did we put it? Okay. This is the folder we created. We'll call it Pandas. 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 Okay. Let's get into Pandas and we'll come here. We are in the download. It's Pandas. Here is it. This is Pandas. Okay, and let's create a new Python. Now I need to use Pandas now. Why? Because I'll be dealing with large Excel files, which has thousands of rows. And I want to show you how this will work and how this is related to the dictionary. First of all, I think in the download, I downloaded this file. I'll put it inside Pandas. So if you go here, you'll find I have a file called this. If I open this file, I'll show you now how we can deal with such beautiful things. This is an Excel file. I downloaded from a website which has free data. This is a sales record of grocery, or I don't know what this one is, something, but we'll find out what is in it. And it, as you can see, it has so many rows. That's huge one, yeah. But you can have even bigger than this one. And now how we can get this one and make each one become like a dictionary, and then we play with it and graft it and do things like that. To be able to work with such large file, we need to use something called Pandas. Pandas is a library in Python that deal with large data. I'll give you an introduction today about it. We'll do more work on it next time and today. And let's look at all that. So Pandas is a powerful and flexible Python library for data analytics and manipulation, especially for large data, not small data that you can work on it in Excel easily. Now, those large data, which become very difficult in Excel to go through it left and right and things like that. And when you have data coming from multiple sources, some data coming from Excel files, some data coming from a live website, or some data coming from a camera that collecting pictures and uploading it as people, cars move in and do there with plate number and things like that. And you want live to get all this data and do some analysis on it. So it works with those large, really large data. So, and they are structured in something called series and dictionary. Series and dictionary are based on series and data frame are based on dictionary. And you will see how that what we learn in dictionary will help us here. If you want to use pandas, you need to import it first. Import pandas. If you don't have it, you need to install it using pip install pandas. If you're using Anaconda and Jupyter notebook, which we're using here, the Jupyter will by default will have pandas installed on it. If you download it the way I explained last time to do. Those who missed last times can go to the videos. They are all there, and I made them looks little nicer. I'm not sure if they're nicer or not, but I thought because I put my picture there, this is my doubt now. Will that make it looks nice or like make it looks not good? So if you go to our YouTube video, Edu Connect, you will find so many of our previous courses. There are hundreds of things. And these are the old videos since we started AI, then we did Python 1, Java 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we are doing, today we'll add the video there. So you can come here and watch all these videos. I'll put it in the chat. You're getting all these things from Ivy, and she is a great person helping all of us. But again, here is the link. You'll find all of them. In previous sessions we have done before, and future sessions we will be doing, you'll find them here as well to do. So where I was before I lose my, okay. So you can find out how to download Anaconda and Jupyter Notebook and how you can install it in your computer, because for large data, Ripple will now start becoming a little complicated. Now you can create a data set, which you can do it this way. There's something called series, and series is exactly like the list we talk about it. But you take a list and then you use something called, when you import pandas, you say import pandas as PD, and then you can, after you have a list, you can say series equal PD dot series, and you pass that list. And this will convert your list into something called series and then print it for you. Okay, series is a simple thing. The other thing, if you have a dictionary, this is a dictionary which you have name, and these are the names of a group of people. Alice, Bob. Alice was my personal assistant, and she was a great person, and she is still a great person. And then these people, and then age, these are the age of each one. Alice is 24 and Bob is 27. And the cities they're living in, Alice in New York, Los Angeles for Bob, and things like that. This is a dictionary, which we did. Now to convert it to a data frame, which Pandas use something called data frame. Data frame is table format. There are columns and rows. And then this gives you huge flexibility to play with these columns and rows. You can add other columns, you can add new rows, you can slice the rows and take data from certain segment. You can do some calculation, you can group data, you can visualize data. You can update the data using another data and things like that. So once you have the this is dictionary, you can convert it to a data frame using something called data frame, PD data frame, and then you print it. You'll get a table. We'll see that one in a minute. You can read data from Excel file. If you have an Excel file or comma separated file, you can read it. If it's Excel, this is the way. You come with a variable, you call it whatever you want to do, and then pd.read Excel. read Excel and you specify the Excel name and then the sheet name, because an Excel file can have multiple sheets to do. And then you can do. When you print head, will give you the first 5 rows. Let's practice. Talking is good. The more things will come, but when you practice, you will understand it better. So let's get into this. So we have our data set here. It's comma separated file, CSV. Yeah, this is a CSV, and it's not really Excel file, the one we downloaded. Where I downloaded from a website that gives free. Here is this one. If you want to get other data, if you come to this one, and if you want to become a data analytics or someone who deal with data, or you have interest in data analytics anyway, this website will give you so many data sets, examples of data for schools, for shops, for companies, for so many things, and you can download it. So I looked for sample data set, and then and gave me this data set, which I will be dealing with it. So I downloaded it. I got that data. Now, usually this data you have it from your company or from your project or from somewhere to do, but I got this data from there to become easy for me. Now I want to import pandas as PD. Now this is importing pandas. If my pandas is not working, then I'm having a problem. Now my pandas is working fine, so import pandas.pd. Now I'll use PD from now on, because I import it as PD, and the PD will be my. Now it can be anything, can be BD, can be X, can be Y, can be anything you like to call it. But programmers who program in Python, they are used to call it PD. So everyone will expect it is PD. Okay, so don't come with something that maybe doesn't make sense. The next line, we can come with a variable called data for example, I'll call it sales equal PD. Now PD is my tool, yeah, and then read CSV, because I have a CSV file, not Excel. In the example I gave you, read Excel, but because I have CSV, I have to use CSV. Now, what is the file name? I need to find it from here and take it exactly as it is, which sales data. Okay, maybe here I take it from here. Usually do this, copy this, come back here. Yeah, so this should be the variable item. Now, if you run this one, it is issue with reading this file. I am in the same folder. Windows has some issues. Invalid start position, decode. Something like that. Why it's not reading it? Let's look at the data just in case we have some issues here. One thing you can do with this data, you can open it in Excel. If you prefer to deal with Excel, you can say save as, and then we can save it as Excel. Let's do that. Now it's saved as Excel. Maybe I didn't have access to it, but let's do this. And we'll come here and change our read Excel, and then we will pass our Excel file there. Now it's reading it, fine. So what we did, just converted, comma separated. I think I need to update the pandas to be the right one to do Excel. But anyway, now we read the data. Now the data is read. It's in the memory of the computer. How I can give this data on the screen? We'll come with few things which we will be talking about it here is how to deal with the data. And there are many things to deal. These are something called head. Head will give you the first 5 row. Tail will give you the last 5 row. Info will give you some information, and describe will describe the data. So let's try these four things which we will be dealing with. So if let's say cells dot head, yeah, and we do this, what are we getting? This is the first 5 row of the data. First 5 row, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, the first 5 row. If I go to the Excel file, I'll find these are the first 5 rows. I'm not going there because I trust that one. So head will give you the first 5 row. Okay, if I want to get more than 5, I want to get 10, for example, it will give me 10. I just put 10 there. It will give me 10. Now, why they made it this way? Because usually in data analytics, first thing the analyst has to do, need to understand the structures of his or her data. By displaying the first 5 rows, you will understand the structure. Why? Because you know the columns that there. You will see what data in each column, almost there, and you will start getting a sense of your data. So this is basically cells of the order numbers. These are the order numbers. This is the quantity being ordered. So in this order, there are 30 quantity, and price for each is 95.70, and order line number is 2. The total sales is 2,871. This was on that date. It has been shipped already, and the ID is 1, the month is 2, and the year in 2003, and the address it was sent to is this one, and here is a missing data of address 2, that's fine. City is New York, and state is New York, and then the postcode, this is the postcode, it's US. I think you can see that you get to understand the data. First thing, you need to know your data before you do anything to that. And this 5 rows usually gives you good pictures about that. If you want to see the tail also, you can say cells dot tail, yeah, and then it'll give you the tail. Tail means the last row. So the last row is 2,822. So that's how many rows are in this column, and I can see the tail, the end of the data. If I want to know how many items, I wanted to describe the data, so I can say cells describe, and do this. This will give me a description of every column in the data. So look at this. You will not understand it. Let's explain it. So this data, it says count how many rows mean. There are 2,823 data row in that one. What is the mean value of the order number? This is the mean value of the order number. And this is the mean value. The mean value of order number means nothing. You need to look at the mean value, which the average of the price. So the average price is 83. Average price of the items being sold is 83. You need to look at the amount of sales. The average sales is 3,553. On average, they are selling 3,553 to do. And then see, years and numbers, that means has nothing to do. Standard deviation, later when you study statistics, you'll better understand. I think you have done statistics, I'm sure, but you understand standard deviation. What does it mean? And standard deviation is important for the price of the items for the sales, but for the year and ID is irrelevant to do with that. And then the minimum value, the minimum sales they had is 481, and the maximum sales they had is 14,082. Okay, and then the top 25, 50. So it gives you a description about that data by just using sales description, which we do. Now I can see some hands there. Let me go to it before I continue, because sometimes people stuck in something. Okay, Muhammad, Muhammad Wasik.
Sir, how do you insert the first 5 rows?
Yes, I'm not inserting it, I'm reading them from the data. So what I did, I imported Pandas. I connected to the Excel file. Now the Excel file must be in the same folder where I put it. So this is my code, or untitled something. The file should be in the same place. If it is in a subfolder, I need to use colon, the name of the subfolder, and then go to it. So they have to be together. You need to upload your code to the same place. You can do it through, if you run Windows, you go through files and do that. But another way you can do, you can come to the same place you have the code, and you will have something here called upload. You click upload, and then you go find the file and upload it. And then it will upload it. The file has to be, in my example, the file has to be on the same folder as the code I have. And then once I do that, I have the file, then this line will work. If I run these two lines, control enter, they will work. And then I can say head. If I say head, it will give me the first 5 items. If I say tail, will give me the last 5 items. If I want a description, I can use description. Yeah, okay, and so on. If I want to know the information, okay, we'll call it sales.info. Should work. Yeah, here's info. And this info will give me more in explaining each column, what the data type of that column. So for example, this order is integer value 64-bit. The price is a float value. It does analyze the Excel file. These things I didn't specify. The Excel file has specified. So give me more description on that one. Did I answer your questions? Or?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, thank you. There was a hand but disappeared. Okay. So now after we read the file, I think it was maybe related to having the file in the same folder to do. But if I put the file in another folder, let's just play with this one. Let's create a new folder. We will call this folder, I will rename it. You rename it. Where is the name? I used to do this here. File. I want to rename this folder. Not this one, only the folder, yeah. Now let me rename the folder to be data. So my folder is data now, and I will move this Excel file. I'm complicating it for myself and for you. So I'm moving it into data. Yeah, that's folder data. Now you can see the file is gone into data. Yeah, it's here. It's in data. Now, if I run my code, will not run. If I run this one, I'll get an error. A very complicated error. Why? Because I'm trying to read this file and assuming it is in the same folder as my code. Let me rename my code. Say Pandas 01, call this lesson, okay? So if I look here now, I have this my code Pandas 01, but the data, this one is not important anymore. Let's remove it. This one, we need to delete it. So, because I'm not using it now. No, Pandas 01 here, and I am trying to read a file that it's not in the same, it's not located there. Where is it? Is there a file beside Pandas? There's nothing. There is a file inside data. So to get to data, I need to do this. I say data like this. If I do this, now it's fine. It's searching for the Excel file in a folder called data, and then the file name is this name. So they're now working fine. So if you structure your data and you have your data somewhere else, you need to specify how to get to that file. If the folder is a subfolder, you need only to put the name of the folder like this. That's it. This will give you the subfolder. If I have my data somewhere else, somewhere far, then I need to find the full path to that data. So accessing your data is important. The easiest way, put your data where is your code. And in that way, you don't need to use data / whatever I'm doing here. But I did it again just to get you to know. Now we have seen we can work with the head, tail, we know the description, and we have the information of the data. Okay. Now, how can I know what are the rows, columns in the data without scrolling like this? I need a list of all columns, for example. Again, there is other way. If you want to get the columns, no, maybe I should have done this one down after the info. We'll do it here. Okay. So if you want to get the columns, cells, columns, and this will give you the columns. If I do columns, this will give me the columns. Yeah. So cells.columns. Okay. You noticed, I think you noticed something. Look at this cells.column. What did you see different? What did you see different?
So no bracket.
Yes, I like it. There is no bracket. There's no open close bracket. I do open bracket, I get an error. All the others have bracket. This one has info has, describe has, tail has, head has. But columns doesn't have. No, columns is a list. I can store here, say columns, okay, equal cells. I can do this. Now I can do a for loop. This is a list now. List is our game, yeah? For C and columns, if you want to do this, print C. Now, this will give me these columns in this way. So it's coming like a list, yeah? Yeah, it's a list, okay? So usually, I think now you know the list. So everything we learned so far, we can use here, okay? So I called it columns now because I called columns equal cells. Now I don't know the columns. If I want to get the columns, I have to print them. And they can come like a list like this, but if I want to break them into 1, 2, 3, so I can do something with them, I can do that, okay? So this is good. Okay, now what we know so far, we can read an Excel file. How big is not important. And then we can find the head, we can find the tail, and we can find the description, and we can find the columns of that one. Now, what if I want to add another column at the end that has average cell? Like, for example, here, look at the quantity. What is the quantity? I have here quantity, yeah, quantity, and I have the sales price, yeah. So I want to find, I want to add another column that has some some calculation, okay, to do. Let's just say I want to get 10% or 5% the VAT, 5% of it of sales. So I can add VAT here at the end. How I can add VAT at the end? That will be 5% of the sales. I need a new column. I can do this easily. I can use my data frame cells. I come with bracket a new one called VAT and then say equal. I will say cells. Now here I have to put the column name which the cells, this one. I have to use the same spelling. If there is space in between, add the space. Exactly. Multiply 0.05. If I do this one, now a new column has been added. But where is it? I don't see it. So I need to display it. So I can say cells, head only. I don't need anything else. Now it came and I will find at the end, there is the VAT now. It's 5% of the cells. Take this one, multiply for, and it's done for every row. All the 2,000, 3,000 have been done, calculated. I don't need to go and do it one by one or drag and click and do all those things you need to do. See, we have a million lines. It's already done for us and calculated and been added to every row and became one. So you can add additional rows. You can add additional rows by just using some calculation. So VAT, we just did some calculation. This can be a very complicated calculation, but in our case, it's a very simple. It's just 5% of the sales, and that the calculation to do. Now, you look at here in the items, if we look at contract first name. Contract first name, there are so many. There's Kwe, Paul, Danielle, Jolie, and there's so many contractors they're dealing with. Okay, there are also the cities here, New York and others. How I can find what are the unique cities? What does it mean unique? New York, if you look at how many times New York repeated there, will be a lot. Yeah, if I want to know what are those unique values. Yeah, so I want to do unique values. I can use unique as well, which we can do. But before I do that, I want to show you the slice, because you have done slicing. Yeah, and how that can help us here. Now let's look at slicing this data. So if I say cells, okay, cells, I have to be the same spelling, cells, and I want to get from row 5 to row 8. This will give me data from row 5 to row 8, because I slice the data from row 5 to row 8, which will be 5, 6, 7. As you know, the last one, as we did in the list, it's not included. Okay, so all the things you learned there, you can now apply it here to do. And you can slice the data in so many different ways. If I want cells from row from beginning to row 20, can do that. Cells, yeah. You can do that. It's just went from beginning to 20, or from 15 to 20. Now it will give me only 15. So I can slice the data. I can slice them, which we will do next time, based on certain condition. I want to get only New York cities and put them in one data set, and then use it. Now, anything you slice, you can store it in a new variable. You can call it D1, for example. Now D1 now has a copy of the data set, but only those data from 15 to 20. And I can do anything I want to do with this one. So D1, if I can display the whole data, this is the whole data. I can slice it, I can add some calculation to it, I can do things like that. So Pandas is very strong and very logical and easy to follow, but of course requires practice. If you practice, then things will become much easier. Let me stop here and see if you have any questions, so I can answer you before we jump into more things. So, Stephen.
Yeah, does this work for anything other than Excel files? Like, do we have a
Yes.
place for syntaxes?
Yeah. It works with Excel. It works with a comma separated file or CSV. It works with JSON. It works with web data. It works with data stored into images and things like that. You can extract it and convert it. It works with live website. If there's a web page live, like a sport website that display the score of all the teams who did play sport, you can go live to that page and extract the data from there and put it in a data frame and start doing some analysis with it. It almost works with anything. Any data there, it works with it. So let me just show you what Pandas, more about what it can do. This time I'm not using our friend Pandas data frame. Okay, Pandas. Okay, if you go to Pandas, their website, what's wrong with my? Okay, here is it. Pandas data frame. Okay, if you come here, you will find this is not their Pandas, only Pandas. So okay, here's it. This is the original one. If you come to this website, which I'll put it there, this is um, the group behind it. Now, the great thing with these are all open source. There is huge community of people behind it who sharing is the best thing for them. If someone of them shares something, he has the full joy of everything to do. So you learn a lot from these people. Of course, Pandas is not only with Python, it works also with Java, with other languages, but in Python is very simple and easy and powerful to use. So you will find so many things here about the documentation, user guide, and you will get examples of everything it can do. This is the full Pandas guide that will do everything for you. Anything you want to learn, you will find it here, like merging data, categorizing data, plotting data, and series and data frame, dealing with the head and tail, which we spoke, attributes, accelerated operations, sorting, copying. These are the different files: comma separated file, JSON file, HTML, live LaTeX, which people used to use it instead of Microsoft Word for scientific publishing, XML, Excel files, open document, binary Excel, clipboard, almost anything there, it will deal with it, even including the PDF and other SQL, and then there are so many other things to do with the data structure, integration and linking, indexing and selecting your data by slicing, sorting, grouping, combining. It's a huge thing, but all very simple. If you are in data analytics or data science, or you use data, and nowadays nobody doesn't use data. If you study any subject, you go into the health science, you need to analyze your patient record, you need to look at the disease there, and you look at, you will be dealing with data. You go into business, of course, sales. If you go into engineering, you will find yourself working with data. You go into law, you will find yourself working there. Data is important, and these tools made data simple and fun to deal with, and insightful as well, to get you to know more about it. Multi-indexing, copying or writing, merging, joining, accelerating, extracting and concatenating, reshaping your data, putting the data in different shape and different format, working with text files. Again, this is another strong thing. If you link this one to the natural language processing, which again, there's another library called NTK. If you link the two together, you can analyze text and get insight from the text instead of only focusing on the numbers. Like you get a survey and student provide you with, or your customers with open-ended text, how you can make a sense of what they have done. Of course, ChatGPT nowadays can help, but also this is very strong in finding sentiment analysis, finding issues that been raised and things like that. Working with missing data. If your data has a missing, and some of the data we have some missing, sometimes the state is not there, whatever, how you deal with it. And there is a process you can fill this data. Duplicating, categorizing data, so many things, and charting and visualization, all the type of visuals we did before, they are built in here. Even you don't need to import the plotting library. It's already part of Pandas. And these are the visualization of tables, grouping again and splitting. You have multiple data, you want to group them based on specific conditions. You can do all this grouping, and the examples here, everything is here. Windows operations as well, with dealing with the computer, time series, which important area, and then options, and this is huge. Can see, and everything is well explained, documented with examples. If you go through anything of this, you will have it. So it's a powerful library that data analytics analyst love it. Okay, other questions,
Sir,
Stephen?
yeah. So do we have something like Jupyter for Java also?
No, Jupyter not for, there's no Jupyter for Java, to my knowledge. Jupyter is created this way to focus on data analytics, because in data analytics you need to load data and then you start working with it without loading it again every time you execute your code. So it designed this way for more data analytics, not for Java, to my knowledge, but maybe you can. There's always people who are interested to make something work for something else, and maybe there is a group there who made Jupyter connect to Java. Oh, we need to look at that one, but I'm not aware of it.
Uh, can we also, yeah, when we're doing VAT basically on the sales, can we display it somewhere on the table? Is there something for this?
I didn't get you.
So we did an N30 sales VAT, the sales code basically, the VAT. So is there any way
Yes,
to display it or show it?
yeah, you want to show it on its own. That's what
Like
you're saying?
part of the table maybe.
Yeah,
Is it possible?
to move it somewhere on the table to come first or second, or what do you mean? It's there, it's shown there on the table.
So when we introduced VAT, it automatically put it in the table?
Automatic put it on the table. But just, of course, you need to display the table again. We display it, it's already there. See, it's here. And if you want to get it on its own, you can do this one. Cells, then you put VAT. If I do this, it will display only the cells, the VAT. for all rows, and it will display it as a list. In fact, I can put a variable here called VAT, and this will store it. So if I display VAT anytime, I'll get a list of VAT. This is a list, but because it's too big, it cannot display it. So I can extract it and so on. But by default, it added to the table, because once you do, yeah, let's add another column called VAT cells, and let's call it address. What's wrong with me? Address, and I can just put something here like this. Now this one will be added to every row. It's not the right way to do it, but the address can be, I can do it based on the state maybe. But anyway, let's do it this way. And if I say now cells, and let's take the head, just to head, then I will find this new thing I added called address is being added here, and giving the value the same for everyone. But this can be, later we'll look at how we can search for some data from the net based on some, like we have the city here, New York, for finding the GPS location of New York City, okay, and adding it here, for example, through using Google search, but that's another one. But anytime you add a new field, it automatically added to the table. It will not be displayed on the screen unless you display the head or tail or something, but it became part of your data. If you query, you will find that data. Okay.
So we can introduce anything we want. We just have to make it make sense.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Based on something that's useful. You can grow your data, and also you can shrink this data. You can take maybe, for example, make one data set that include only order number, quantity, and sales price. You don't care about the other data. You put it in one data set and keep the other set in the original one, and create another one that focus on the amount of sales and the city, and make them another table, because you need to do specific analysis maybe on that one. So you can slice not only by the row, you can slice by the columns. And that's something I'll be talking about it next time.
Can we
Okay.
also move these? Can we move anything that we add into like the first or the second row? Is there like a moving command?
You can, yeah. But there's not moving. There's a way to display the columns. Like if I want to do, let me do that maybe. Cells, you do this way, cells, and then you create another list inside, and you start putting this one. For example, I want to see the VAT, okay? And then I need to see the address only, yeah? Something wrong with this one.
Error spelling
Address. Something wrong with my, yeah. There's something else wrong there. Here's the address here.
So is it
That
because
also
the
capital A,
VAT
capital
is
T.
not capital?
Sorry?
That is all capital.
Oh, VAT all capital, yeah. VAT all capital. Yeah, that's good. Now I have a new set now. I call it D3, for example. You see now I created a new data that focuses only on this two thing. I don't want the other thing. I can include others if I want as well. Like for example, sales, I think all capital sales. Yeah. Now this D3, if I display the head of D3 head. Now, this is a new data set which focusing only on those. So I can slice the data by the columns and focus only on the columns I want to do my analysis on, instead of the whole data, or present it, or plot it, or do whatever to do with it. So now I have a subset. So this is the way to do it. You basically have your data, and then you need to create a list inside that include the columns. If you want to take the whole thing, you can bring the whole thing. If you want to order it, like you want the VAT to be first, the sale address second, sale third, and then quantity maybe, a country maybe fourth. You can put all the columns here, no issue, and you order it the way you want it to appear on the screen, like city. Now you have the opportunity to order your data and organize it the way you want it to be. And now we see you have the data set like that. So through a technique like this one, you can move cells or anything from somewhere to be the beginning or the second or the third or things like that. So this is one technique you can use. Okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, pleasure. Aisha? Aisha, you're on mute or what?
Yes. So, can you know how in the row we are giving colon like 0 to like 15 to 20, like that? Can we do it in the columns too?
Yeah, you can do the same thing in the columns, yeah.
Like we can put the like country colon like,
Yeah.
VAT then.
Yeah. I think I'll do it for you maybe next time, but I did some, this is the data selection, which we just discussed now, yeah? You can do this. Also, you can select rows based on certain conditions. We'll do that one, like those cells more than something like that. And there is filling, we'll come to this next time. I'll do it next time. Yeah, you can do. You can select it, say, take from column 0 to column 7, or from name to address, or thing. It does that one for you.
And also, is there a way to add the column like after a specific column? Like, for example, maybe we gave name and then we gave age, but then later we decide we want to add their surname too. So can we add that
Yes,
column between the two?
yeah, you can concatenate columns. You make them one, instead of there are two columns, you make them one column, and you add the data of the two together. You can do that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. You can concatenate data, and you also can split data. If you say, for example, it has the address, which year, day, month, and year. You want to split the day in one column, the month in one column, the year in one column. You can do that as well. There are functions for it. You can do this.
Also, you remember when you're talking about like how we can find like the unique address, like there'll be many with NYC. So can we like in Excel we find, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
which all, and then we can make them into a specific column. Like we can search and then we can find only the ones with NYC. Can we do that in Pandas?
Yes, we can do that. Absolutely. We can do that. I'll show you how to do this. Let's just go to okay, very good. Where are we working here? Yeah, let's do that. For example, if I want the unique, let's take our D3, yeah, D3, and I want the unique countries. What are those countries that this shop or this company has sold something to them? So we can use unique.
Oh, unique is like a function?
Yeah, it's a unique like unique. I'm just into unique, and then this will get us those unique countries. These are the countries. They're selling only to these countries. US, France, these are the countries. And now it's in a list. I can do a loop and go through this list and get the total of each company or something like that and plot it in a graph. So the unique is so unique can get you the unique value of anything. So these are
What if
unique.
I want to make like a data frame, like a table of people who are only there in like I'm is it these are people, right? So in USA. So then can we search and find it?
Yes, you can. You can do anything here. I'm just storing this one in something called countries
Country.
and put
Okay.
it there. So now these countries are, I can find out the length of it. I'll use len countries. This will tell me how many countries are there. There are 19 countries they are
19
selling
countries.
to. And I can do a search I can group the data by those from these countries. Let me show you something which I'm planning to do next time. See, I want only those who are from France. I need to see the data for people from only France. Let me first list the countries first to see the spelling of France here. So only France. I want to see the data that only from France. Okay, and I'll create one, I'll call it FR equal cells. Okay, and now I do this. I will spend some time to explain this one next time because I'm planning to create some animation because it's a little complicated, the concept. This is why I was trying to avoid doing it, but let's do it this way. Country equal, and then I'll put France. Now, if you feel it's Chinese, I will explain it in a minute to do. Now, if I do this, even this didn't work, cells, yeah, there's something wrong with the data frame. Is country correct, the name? Cells equal, yeah, sorry, this is bracket here, and this should be bracket here. That's the way it works. Cells, okay, sorry. Now this one I created, it will display, if I display FR, let's do just head. I will explain it because it's a little bit, it needs some explanation. Okay, now this data FR contains only cells to France. By doing this one, I filter data by selecting only France. And now
So we
this
can just do
France,
it like this. So basically, how to find it is you have to like
yeah,
whatever condition you have, you write it within the
correct. Yeah,
within
the
this
way it's
web.
structured this way, you need your data set, and then
Mm-hmm.
you need a square bracket. Now assume
This
this
is
one, yeah, this
we
one
are searching by the
actually,
column. So
yeah,
column and then the
exactly.
equal to whatever
Yeah,
condition
yeah.
we want.
The condition will happen here. Now, what I removed is the condition. Now I'm displaying cells, but what I'm displaying here is what I'm displaying. I'm displaying only cells that equal the country equal France. So this is the condition.
Mm.
And I can add and. For example, I want to only to France, and the amount of sale is more than this amount. I can add another condition here to add and third condition. So I can filter data on base specific condition. When I did this one, it went through the data and extracted only the data that related to France. Yeah. And then you see all country are France. I can see France and also territory of France as well, or certain amount. I can add more conditions inside this box, in this place, to make sure the data is filtered the way, and store the new data in a new one, so I do not play with the original data, And then I can start here doing my analysis on it. If I say, for example, describe, and then do this, it will just describe the data related to France. So now I can know the means, I know the other thing related only to France, to sell to France. So this is one way to search your data for specific things and create a new data set that you will use for your analysis. Okay, I think 3 minutes only remaining. I hope you enjoyed today's session. I have to admit, data analytics is sometimes confusing to people, but you can see there are tools we have now. They are amazing in helping us to better understand things and play with it and have fun. You will understand only if you play with these things and practice and explore different things. And I like your questions, all of you. You thinking properly. You have this analysis or analytics skills where you ask questions that are really relevant and helpful. And continue thinking this way of thinking, oh, what will happen if I do that? How I can get this one? What I can do? These are very important things for us to be better able to understand data and work with data. Is there a way, I'm looking at the question, is there a way to change the key that has already been defined in Python? Yes and no. You can create a new data and with the right key and then copy data from the previous dictionary to other the dictionary. You can do that. In Pandas, it's very easy. I can change those columns. Any column I don't like, for example, the spelling, the way this one written. I call it just order number, order line number. This is very complicated. I can change this name. We will do this next time. Change this name to something else, and everything will change. I can split data, as we said. If I have a month date and I want to split it into multiple data, I can do that. Okay, I can remove, fill empty data. Like here, I have some data, maybe they are not complete, they're missing. I can come with assumption. I want to remove duplicated data. The same record is here and there. I have just to remove it. I can remove that duplicated data, which we will talk about it more on Thursday. So and then we can visualize and run data and do things, many things with this. So thank you for today. I hope you find it useful, and we are doing good progress. We have just tomorrow, on Thursday will be the last day for Python. Then we'll have, I think Thursday is the last, yeah. And then we'll have one session on important tools that you need to know. And then you will get a session on study skills that will make you successful in the university, inshallah. And you will be successful in all your life, inshallah ta'ala. So thank you for being with us and have a great time.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.